Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to another episode of our one-shot, part 2 of Dungeons and Dragons Pirates of the Valdstrum. My name is Will. I'll be your storyteller this evening, and last we left off, our crew was what was supposed to be a simple job of just kind of protecting some cargo from one point to the other, and it turned out to be something far more menacing. They ended up having to fight some twig blights that were summoned up to destroy and kill the cargo that they were carrying, which is a human male named Basten Garrel, someone that the Drow Empire has deemed a criminal to the crown. They ended up finding out that one of the crew members had been killed and replaced by a doppelganger, and he was the one responsible for everything happening to the ship. And as his last breath was being exhaled, the creature that summoned this thing into being and then set the whole thing in motion emerged from a portal. It was a one-eyed creature of myth and legend and darkness, and it kind of had this primal fear about him. It was beholder kin, not an actual beholder, but something along the same bloodline. And at the end of the whole ordeal, Basten Garrel had freed himself, had picked up this jade idol in the shape of a fox, and had promised to explain everything to the crew that had been gathered there. And this is where we're going to be introducing ourselves to everyone again. It's good to see everybody. As some of you who were here last time, we will see that we are missing a famous LazerKat, but we hope that she feels better. Let's start our round of introductions with the amazingly 80s hitting tone singing Loop himself.
Well, thank you, buddy.
Yeah,
Thanks for having me.
yeah.
It's good to be back.
Thank you for
It's
being
been
here.
it's been too long, like a month.
It's been too long. Uh,
Um, we hang around all the time.
man, what do you got going on? I know that you've got the karaoke.
We do a karaoke game show on Sundays and Tuesdays,
Yeah.
Sunday days and Tuesday night. Of which Miss LazerKatTV was already on an episode. Of course, she's not here, but on an upcoming episode. Let me get the exact date.
Ooh.
Miss Red Herring will be one of the contestants. She'll be on Tuesday the 3rd, 7 p.m. Pacific. So it's Tuesdays at 7 p.m. and Sundays during the day at noon. And so we've had 6 episodes. Episode 7 is tomorrow at 10 a.m. It's an early start tomorrow, but I don't want anybody to think about that. We'll be going at noon if you show up at noon. But anyway, normally it'll be at noon. This is the one day that it was on and off time. But normally it'll be at noon, and because I got a big baby shower that we're hosting here Sunday afternoon with one of my
Ooh.
tenants and stuff like that. Anyway,
Fancy. Fancy.
long story short, it worked out better for everybody. So yeah, big karaoke game show. I've been doing some karaoke. I do a lot of trivia in the channel as well. Lately, I'm
Hmm.
having a good time on the Sporkle site, and I have a really good time doing FMVs. If I'm not busy singing or doing trivia, I love playing FMVs on stream.
And of course, the whole thing that got all of this started is the fact that you and Red were big Sea of Thieves.
I do still play Sea of Thieves. I don't stream it as much. I
Mm.
have difficulty streaming that game just because it requires so much attention for me to be able to play it that I feel like I'm taken away. Like I don't feel like I'm as interactive with chat. I enjoy streaming it, but I need to. There's so much other stuff that I have more fun streaming that I like off stream where I can focus everything on my moves and the boat and what I'm doing and not be drawn into chat and things like that. I think I hats off to people who stream Sea of Thieves successfully. There are very few. I'm just saying it's a very hard game to stream successfully.
I got
I
you.
see tons of people who are like me where you go in there and they're like, "Hold on a second, I literally have just this 15-minute monster I got to kill before I can really pay attention to what's going on in chat." But for the ones who can handle it really well, I'm hats off to them.
I like it. I like it. Speaking of, let's get an introduction for Red.
Oh, hello. My name's Red Herring, and I'm a D&D addict. Uh,
You're amongst
Hi,
hi.
friends.
Red.
Yeah.
I'm a cosplay
Lots of weird
streamer and variety gamer. I've played some Sea of Thieves lately. We've been playing a lot of Valheim. I just got into it, so I've been binging it like crazy. Um, I play in 4 campaigns currently, and 3 of them are streamed. So I would love to see you at any of them. It's Sundays, Mondays, today, and every other Wednesday. I'm in a Mass Effect homebrew D&D. So that's a good time. On those opposite Wednesdays, we have something called Dead Herring, which is a true crime, cult, and unsolved mystery review show.
Mhm.
And upcoming, we'll actually have a conspiracy theory discussion with one of my fun friends, Tom. So we're going to talk about how the birds are the bourgeoisie, I think. I don't know. He's going to inform me, and I'm going to be a skeptic about it. It'll be fun. But I'm
Okay.
excited to be here, and I can't wait to get back into Tika and this whole campaign.
I like the premise of the next Dead Herring.
I'm excited. I'm probably going to bring up things like the Cecil Hotel, and he's going to bring up things that I've never heard of before in my life. So it'll be fun. It'll be good.
I just realized that I named my dog after my character.
Oh my God.
Nice.
I have used this character name since I was,
Yeah.
in middle school. And because I've used this character name since I was in middle school, I named my dog Bodhi. And now here it is. I'm just like, holy shit,
Here you
I
are.
named
Yeah.
this character Bodhi. I just got a dog like 3 weeks ago. Anyway,
I love.
enough less about me, but I'm sitting here cracking up about that
A
right now.
dog.
Yeah, we
A
are
dog. He says. It's like the cutest puppy. It's
cutest
the best.
thing.
Sorry, I didn't mean to. I just I had to share that because
Yeah.
that made me laugh so hard.
No, I get it. Trust me. Like I've had the Ravnos Archon attached to myself since high school, so I know
It
exactly where you're
shows
coming
up
from.
like in random places you forgot about.
Mhm. Yeah.
I love it. I love it.
Let's move on from the Viking shit. Because like I said yesterday, your whole Viking princess cosplay got me so fired up for a Viking one shot that I was like, how can I
Thank you.
tell the fall of Atlantis? Like I'm torn between telling the fall of Atlantis that I wanted to tell or doing like some Viking shit Ragnarok.
I would play both. So, because Atlantis is like my favorite story. So let's go.
Okay, I'll make a note of that. Moving on.
What is that? 6 campaigns? Fuck me.
That would actually be a one shot though. That has to be a
Okay,
hard
thank
one
God.
shot.
Hard
You
shot.
5 years later,
Yeah.
20 sessions.
part 20 of the one shot, which is what this is. If you've watched our Vampire the Masquerade game here on this channel, or if you watch the Star Wars and the Dark, you will recognize our intrepid next character, Kiba, who is played by Ike.
Hey, hey.
Good to see you again, sir.
Same here. I'm glad to be part of this group again. This is awesome. What started out as a one shot, we're gonna head on to part 21 or more. No, it's great. You said you can catch me Fridays, Star Wars Out of the Dark. I play Flit Grilled. And Mondays, every now and then, guest appearance, I play Otis King. Ventru.
I like it.
So very cool stuff. And hopefully many more games to come
Yeah.
soon.
And last but not least, the biggest surprise I think to all of us was learning that Sevar, Pedro there, had his first time ever playing Dungeons and Dragons on our D&D stream,
And crushed it.
yes, was fantastic.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm Pedro. That was my very first game. Since then, I have joined another D&D campaign that is not streamed,
Excellent.
and I've joined a what is it? A Star Wars West End game, Star Wars RPG game.
Nice. That's the best
The
version.
addiction is real.
Yeah.
Addiction is real.
That's how it starts. It starts with one game, and then you're sitting there.
I was joking.
Yeah. My favorite I think first timer was Kat, because she just kind of like fell hard into it.
Oh, goodness, that was fun. On both, I mean, the gameplay was still just great, but the little moments were just so good.
So good. But yeah, this is everybody. I appreciate all of you being part of this as always. But let's just jump right into it, I think. Last we left off, Basten Garrel was kind of standing there holding this jade idol in the shape of a fox. He had smiled, mentioned that he knew what this was, and as he kind of shifts it from one hand to the other, he starts to step towards one of the portholes, and he opens it kind of out into the sea, the darkening sky of late afternoon is kind of starting to creep into out from the horizon. A nice breeze comes in, the salt air fills the room, and it starts to kind of overpower the scent of this bloody mess that is sitting at the feet of kind of everyone gathered there. And as the light catches the idol, there's a very clear moment where he kind of holds it out in front of himself. He locks eyes with the statue itself, and all of the glow from the statue kind of evaporates. And the same colorful aura kind of washes over his fingers, his hands, and then dissipates into his skin. But he gladly will walk back over to the group and hand the fox over to Mara, as she had said that she had laid claim to it. But with a smile, he turns to Tika. Of course, let us not be rude here, and he pulls out from his satchel, his kind of messenger bag, a similar sized jade statue of a monkey. And he hands that to Tika. This was my initial moment of clarity, and as you can see, I think it's brought me to you. And he points down at Orenji.
Would you like me to hold on to this for him, or is this for me? I'm confused.
I would prefer, I think, if your group held on to these idols. As you can
Well, I
see,
think we'd be proud to do that.
And she tucks it away into her little pack.
it takes up the entire pack. This,
Oh.
this thing is like the size of Tika's chest.
Okay, never mind. She doesn't hold out
Jade
her
monkey
hand.
statue.
Yeah.
How
Is
heavy
he-
is this
is-
thing?
It's maybe like 3 or 4 pounds,
Oh,
but it's
Is
just
the jade fox statue the same size as well?
same size, same kind of weight. It's a little bit different in its dimensions because the fox has this kind of flame-like tail that coming up its back, whereas the monkey is more slim, more kind of like if Orenji had kind of sat up on his haunches and held his hands in front of him, and the tail's kind of wrapped around the waist like a belt.
Wow. So they're
so instead of tucking it into her pack, she takes off her little like backpack, which doesn't have too much in it to, be real,
Hmm.
and just puts it in there and like tries to cinch it up, but it just gets probably to like the monkey's neck.
Yep.
And then she like puts it on her back and she's like, well, all right, thank you for bestowing us with this gift.
And as he's about to say something, you hear the heavy footfalls and you see the crew come down or come up from wherever they are. They're being led by the one drow that's still alive. You can see that he's holding his hand up to the left side of his face. There's blood coming out of it, and he just points his sword at Basten, and everybody kind of draws their weapons on him.
Oh,
And Basten just calmly puts his hands up. But he's like, I will gladly go back in the cage if that's what you think is best, but I will warn all of you that I don't think these idols are just trinkets. And the drow kind of comes over. He'll say anything to get out of his duty.
this point, I get up from my knees. Orenji's safe and being looked after, correct?
Yep, he did heal Orenji.
Yeah. Would like to hear more about these idols or trinkets. Seems to know a lot more than what you have been telling us.
Sly smile creeps along his face. As I have said, I have no qualms sharing any information that I have about these idols, but it will be cramped in that cell.
Well, so we got to negotiate his release then.
Either
Either we could negotiate for a release, or we could just like tie him up.
he doesn't have to be in a cell. Just
Didn't
like
he
tie him
come-
to the mast.
You're on a ship after all. Where is he gonna go?
I'm down with whatever. Yeah,
I would not mind
that
being
works for me.
tied to the mast, of course. And you see him kind of go over to where the opening is that leads up to the upper deck, and one moment he's there, there's a puff of smoke, and then the next moment he's on the upper ledge, emerging from the same kind of puff of smoke, and he's just like, I'll just wait up here then.
Yeah, I had a feeling that modern confinements weren't going to be really an issue. I also have a feeling that Mr. Garrel is is only here because he's willing to be here. I have a feeling that he can get out of this situation if he ever really needs to.
We have Bahodi make an Arcana check, because that spell is very familiar to him. I think it'd be fun to have you do the first roll of the day.
Arcana
Ooh.
check. I got it. Yeah, I do. I got +3 too. Sorry. Okay, here we go. Uh, 20.
Nice. Yeah.
Good.
That's
roll.
dirty 20. That's how you start the day.
Solid.
dirty 20.
Yeah.
Little dirty 20.
You recognize the spell because it's one that you've been familiar with, one that you might actually have on your.
I know the spell. Yeah.
Yeah, it is definitely.
I spent years studying how to do a Misty Step.
It is a Misty Step.
Mhm. That's why I was like,
Ooh.
that's why I had a feeling this guy is only here because he's willing to be here.
Mm.
So for me, it seems like he's getting free passage to his destination, and this is where he really wants to be. Like that's why he's so like willing to go along with what everybody on the ships. I'm sorry, I'm trying to say this where nobody else is hearing. I'm just talking to my friends here. Um, so that's why I have a feeling like that cell is not keeping him where it confined. You know, if anything, it was the magical bindings that were keeping him confined potentially that we might have destroyed. But I have a feeling he's here on his own volition, and the destination where we're going is exactly where he wants to be. What do you guys think?
Hot
Aye.
patootie. That is quite a theory.
It sounds very interesting to me.
Anybody who can leave a cell that quickly obviously was only in it because he wanted to be, or wanted to maintain the illusion that he didn't have the power to get out of it. I'll be over here.
Yes.
But then why break the illusion by just Misty stepping in front of us?
Well, now, according to maybe the threat has been eliminated from the ship. The one thing that he was hiding from, maybe we just made it a lot easier on him. Maybe now he has people he knows he can trust.
Mm. Oh, what
Maybe.
conundrum.
Maybe.
know. Maybe is right.
Yeah.
You want to follow him up to the deck?
Be wise.
Yeah.
Should we follow him up there?
Keep an eye on him as well as the rest of the crew. They might seem very eager to lock him back up or
Yeah. You seem to have a lot of questions, Ike, on your mind. Did you get to ask, or sorry, Kiba, on your mind? Did you get to ask all the questions that you wanted to ask before you left?
He seems to know more about these idols, and his gaze upon Orenji intrigues me.
Hmm.
Speaking of
Agreed.
Orenji, Ika, I bow. I am forever in debt to you, like for a life. Brought back Orenji.
It was no thing, darling. I'd do it on any other Tuesday. You're fine. Don't tell him I have a soft spot for him, though.
I put out my hand to get Orenji to carry him on my shoulder.
Yep.
No,
He,
actually, cradle him, because he's still now fully 100, correct?
yeah, he still has a couple points of damage, but
So yeah, I have him here.
yeah, either way, he just kind of cuddles up to you. The crew has already kind of gone upstairs at the behest of the drow guard. They have him surrounded again near the mast. Basten has his hands out, kind of hand over hand, just willingly letting himself be kind of tied up. And they tie him up to the mast. They kind of tie his hands together so that his fingers are kind of crisscrossed, and they also gag him in case, since they've seen him cast spells.
Mm.
But the captain herself kind of comes down as everybody's more or less going back to work, and she approaches the group. What did he say to you?
I'm sorry. I'm really hard of hearing. Actually, I don't even know if I know.
There's a half smile, and she quickly wipes it away. She kind of brings her hand up to her chin. All right, I understand. I don't want any harm befalling my crew, though.
I think we've taken care of the harm.
We also want to befall no harm to your. Why was I?
One of your crewmates was injured, though.
Yeah. You did lose your quartermaster,
Hmm.
but that had nothing to do with us. That had to do with an attempted assassination on your cargo.
Correct. Is correct.
All right. Have Nevik take over for Lendel's job, or Ivik's job, rather. I appreciate what you've done so far.
Can also thank Basten Garrel. It was not him who intervened at the last minute. This could have gotten worse.
Do,
This is true, Captain.
do you know anything about jade animal statues, Captain? Have you seen any in your travels?
I've heard things. There are stories, but
What
Jade,
stories have you heard?
Jade specifically has been considered for talismans of repelling evil.
Hmm. Okay.
Well, that doesn't sound all that bad.
I don't know what the monkeys would stand for, or the animals would stand for, though.
Yeah, that's the part that's puzzling. So jade as a a substance, you say, is known to repel evil, but wonder what the intention of.
And she kind of looks at you. She's like, "These are old tales, of course. These are stories from the time before we used to believe in.
Well, isn't that where we're heading? Aren't we heading to the wall to figure out what happened before in the before times through this gap, through this? Isn't that where we're headed?
After we drop Basten Garrel off, yes.
Well, of course, but I mean, so just good to know. Maybe these are some sort of inkling to the past
Hmm.
or protection from something that's inside there.
She kind of just nods. Just be mindful around him. I don't trust humans.
Well, neither do I, but sometimes we got to take a chance.
Man, when she goes back upstairs, some of the crew are already kind of mopping up the mess that's here, dragging the beholder body up, throw it overboard. The deck is yours. What do you guys want to do?
Is there anything on the beholderkin that would be worth looting? Did we already do that?
You could take one of the eye stalks.
Tika would do that. She'd be like, "What? Hold on, hold on." She like runs over there and takes out her little dagger and just kind of hacks away at one. And she's like,
Utility knife.
Thank you kindly." Like, tucks it away.
Yeah. Is the eye stalk is maybe about 1.5 feet, almost 2 feet long, and it ends in
Sure.
just this bulbous eye that barely has a bit of an eyelid. So it kind of, even if you try to close the eyelid, it's always going to look like it's suspicious of everything around it, just because of how
We,
open the slit is.
it's like it's always going to be staring at you,
Great.
no matter where
Love
you are
that.
in the room.
Love
Always
that.
looking at you.
Always.
We also have this red potion with blue dots that Orenji got and gave to Mara.
Mhm.
Mara handed over
Oh
to me
yeah.
to hold on to. I'm just saying, I still don't know what this thing does. I've never. Anybody want to take a chance and take a drink of it? I know I don't.
I mean, I don't have much longer to live. I'll do it.
Oh yeah, I'll
I
gladly
I
give it.
will join Tika if she wouldn't mind.
Little splitsies.
Little split.
Yeah, but you know that you could you could dab your finger on it and taste a potion to try and figure out what it is with an Arcana check. So if Tika would like to do that,
Yes. Sorry, I'm just adding in my beholder eye stock thing. Okay.
you know, every time that I think I've said everything I can say about D&D, like somebody does something that's just like, I'm gonna take a beholder eye stock.
I got a 13.
Okay.
Never know.
Gnaw on it.
Right. 13. It is a potion of healing.
Ooh.
Potion of healing.
Oh. Sweet. She goes, "Well, zippity doo dah, that's a potion of healing if I've ever had one."
Oh, I don't need that. I'm feeling great. Does anyone else need it?
Hmm.
Nope, I'm tip top.
Orenji? Does Orenji need it?
We should save that for another time. I would just meditate on my wounds.
Mm.
How hurt are you?
Kind of. Oh, I'm pretty low. Single digit.
Oh, I'll come over and cast like a second level cure wounds on you.
Ooh,
Ooh.
that's 2d8.
Oh, oh, nice.
I mean, I
Oh.
only got 8. I'm sorry, but that's
s-
8 healing.
That's
So
with
again, take-
with your wisdom modifier?
So
Wait.
that brings me up to what?
Yeah, with everything. I just
Okay.
rolled low.
Okay. I was trying to squeeze out some extra juice.
I know I got 2 3s and then it's +2. So
Okay,
So that's a total of what? 8
8 more.
more. Okay, I'll take it.
And the wounds, you see the energy. It's what would you say? It's greenish colored, like
yeah,
vibrant,
yeah.
nature colored, almost like a spring feel. And you see some of the wounds start to close. The bleeding has stopped.
Tika, once again, I'm indebted to you. I bow
Oh,
and
we
I
don't do
bow.
debts around here. Just buy me dinner sometime.
Speaking of dinner, I could definitely go for a meal.
Sounds like a
I
good
can
idea.
always eat.
So as the body of this doppelganger is being removed from the kitchen area, you guys go over and you get some of the jerky that's there.
The jerky is delicious. Does anyone see some ale just lying around, or
I mean, this is a ship. I feel like there definitely would be ale around.
Oh yeah,
Mm.
there's
has
bottles
to
of rum, bottles of
Oh,
ale.
even
There's
better.
barrels.
No ale for me. Daenerys forbids it.
Mm,
Grab some jerky
Clouds the mind.
Yeah.
to save and store for Orenji.
Delicious ale.
Is there any tea?
only whatever you've brought with you.
Okay. So while they're drinking their ale, I bring out my little cup.
Yep.
Have some tea.
Right.
Yeah, Savara and I definitely are like cheers in and having a good time.
Yep.
absolutely?
But yeah.
Tika is also somehow keeping up with Savara in the ale, even though I'm assuming I'm half your size.
Like a
I
third his size. He's a dragonborn.
Yeah.
I want.
and I also have a punch, so I can drink a lot.
Fuel tank. That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. It's not a punch. It's a fuel tank.
I have a fuel
Yeah.
tank.
Yeah.
Carry with me everywhere.
Gunpowder barrel. So pirate terms. We are going. These guys, if they want to celebrate, that's fine. I'm more interested in Garrel.
Mhm.
I'd like to go hang out with him up on the deck at the mast.
Sure. You go up there.
Nope.
The drow captain is still standing by him. His sword is still in his hand, and every so often he just kind of like looks down, and you can see that he's froggy. Like he is looking for a reason to just end this man's life.
Mm-hmm.
Go with Bodhi as well with my cup of tea.
Okay.
Yeah.
But he kind of nods as the two of you approach, and he kind of points up to his gag.
Yeah, I definitely want to remove the gag so I can talk to him.
And as you do, the drow brings his sword up to just rest it on Basten's shoulder, the blade edge as close as possible to the man's neck. But Basten kind of stretches his neck a bit, looks up. Sir, how can I be of service to you, gentlemen?
I'm interested to know where you're going. No, I'm not. And don't tell me wherever these guys take you. Where, if, if you could have it your way, where would you be right now?
Ooh, I would love to not be tied up, firstly. And there's a beautiful monastery that overlooks the sea over the Empire of Stone. I spent some time there reading history, historical tomes. I think that's where I might want to be.
What happens when we drop you off? Where we're going? What are you being accused of? You have to know why they have you and why they're shipping you here.
Oh, of course. The drow considered my prophetic visions and diatribes to be heresy. So I'm
Hmm.
to be tried, and I assume it's. I use the term very lightly because there's no real justice in Drow Empire. He kind of looks up at the Drow holding the sword to his throat, and he just smiles. But of course, everything has its performance.
Hmm.
I don't think that sword to his neck would be necessary.
The Drow looks
Look
at
at
you.
and I look at the drow. I give him my half-orc intimidating look,
Mm.
presence.
He looks at you with his one good eye, his right eye, and he's just like, "You weren't there when he escaped."
Hmm.
The sword stays where it is.
Yeah, I'm cool with everybody. I'm good with everybody just being at a place where, as long as Garrel's okay with it being there, I'm okay with it.
It's a dishonorable act holding a sword to an unarmed.
Well, we all know that with those hands, that he's definitely armed, whether he has a weapon or not.
Hey,
Basten nods. Fine. I'm used to this kind of treatment.
All right. So what happens to you if you get to the Drow governor or king where we're dropping you off?
Hmm.
Where or emperor? What happens to you?
Well, if I'm lucky, I'll probably never see the sun again. If I'm
Mm.
unlucky, it won't matter, because I won't have eyes to see the sun with, anyways.
Yeah, but what are you gonna do in that city when they get? Because it's obvious to me that why are you going so willingly without a fight?
Oh, I plan to fight once we hit land, if I have to. But while
You
we're on
think
the
you?
ship, where am I going to go?
Yeah, I hear you. Do you know anybody at the destination? Do you have friends there?
There are some people that I might be able to reconnect with. And the drow at this point looks at you, Bahodi, and he's just like, the man is known to be a member of a gang called Malevolence. They have agents everywhere, unfortunately. They are like cockroaches.
Hmm. That helps me out a little bit.
But Baston kind of looks up. He's like, uh, I've learned in all of the reading that I've done that one does not just turn a blind eye to coincidence. The first idol I found was in the shape of a monkey. You yourselves have a monkey. The second idol I found, or rather that you found for me, is in the shape of a fox. So the next clue should be around the fox.
Yeah, but there's no foxes here, foxes on the ship that I know of. So
Hmm.
um, we'll keep our eyes peeled. But
I
right now,
have
I'm not seeing any ties.
seen visions of a passage through the wall. There is a crack that I believe, if the ship is so inclined, we could navigate through it.
We'd have to convince the captain to abandon the quest that we're on, or that this delivery quest, and change a course.
He nods, and then he kind of starts to look up towards the drow. Really, there's only one hurdle in your way, if you catch my meaning.
Oh my god, the guy's asking us to murder this drow for him.
Oh.
I don't know if I'm willing to do that yet.
I'm so glad we're getting drunk below deck.
For real.
Right?
how many of these idols are there?
In my research, I saw that there are at least 6, but there could be upwards of 8 or 9.
A whole menagerie. A jade menagerie. Assuming that they're all in the shape of animals. They could be in the shape of other things.
The stories did speak of an elephant, of an eagle, a lion. You know,
Oh my.
they were in the shape of the first primordials.
An eagle.
The great nature spirits, as it were.
You also mentioned monastery. Looking over the Empire Stone.
Spent some time
Yeah.
there.
Do you know the Empire Stone?
It is unfortunately in its decline. I believe that the last war with the Goliath Empire has taken its toll on its citizenry. It's unfortunate. It was one of the more beautiful islands I've been to.
It was my home. The beauty you speak of is true.
Well, I know what we got to do. We have to convince the captain not to stop off and drop our man off. And we got to take him with us to the hole in the wall. And I think he's a valuable asset and a valuable ally. And if not, he's gonna he's gonna pursue his own goals anyway. And if we're not in the way of if his goals and our goals don't uh, don't aren't in alignment, then we can part ways amicably. I don't see this guy being a threat to us at all. What do you think? But you and I and Tika and Savar have to convince the captain that we don't need to make a stop. I
Should talk
feel like
to-
he's too. Yeah, I'm talking to you,
to
Kiba.
we should talk to the captain.
Yeah,
First,
I agree.
we should let Savar and
I want
Mara
Savar. I
know.
want drunk Savar to talk to the captain. He's pretty charming.
I look at Bodhi. I'm
I'm-
like,
Oh, I'm
you
not.
think
done.
that would
Just
be wise?
saying. I think Savar speaks the captain's language. I think I'm too articulate and you're too humble. I think Savar is the only one who can talk in the captain's language.
Process of elimination.
Anyway, I think we should all. I don't know. I think if we stop at the Dro enclave or the Dro city, then nothing good can come of it. What do you think?
An agreement with you, my friend.
So we got to
Sure.
we got to redirect this vessel towards the towards towards the past and towards the future, and we do it together. I think.
Yeah.
Hey.
As the two of you were talking to Basten under you in the deck below, the slight sound of singing and instrument playing
Revelry.
starts to waft up. It's low. It's not a big party. It's just one guy with an accordion. Tika and Sevar are at one table, kind of drinking, and Mara is just kind of humming from one of the hammocks off to the side, staring at this jade idol that is probably the best prize she's ever seen. She's just turning it over in her hands, looking at all the angles, talking about how pretty it is.
Oh.
What are the two of you doing?
Savar is officially struggling to keep up with Tika.
Tika
He's
is
trying
doing.
his best.
Oh, I was.
Sorry.
Tika is doing what we might call a line dance. Like it's like a cross
Mhm.
between a bit of a line dance and like an like Irish hoofing, maybe.
Nice.
And she's killing it. It's
Of course.
a dance she learned long ago.
How
She's
many
trying to teach Savar, but it's maybe not going super well currently.
how many how many drinks do you think you're in at this point?
Let's say it at the same time. You ready? 1, 2, 3, 5.
6.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So there's
So 5 or 6.
Yeah.
We maybe lost count.
there's definitely 2 empty bottles on the table that you were drinking at. And the open space next to it is just now filled with at least 2 other crew members who are trying their best to also keep tabs with the moves, but they're just very sloppy at this point.
You know,
They've been
as someone in the chat pointed out, we are also on a ship. Oh, that was you. Yeah, this is gonna be interesting.
but they're also about to finish off their first bottle together, so they're hard into the liquor, and they're human, so they don't have the constitution that Dragonborn or a seasoned veteran like Tika has. But after the song ends and the accordion player kind of takes his bow, there's a little bit of clapping. The 2 that were sharing a bottle kind of toss it to the side. They go over, start grumbling about the business still left to do with the body parts that have to be chucked over. And you see Bahodi and Kiba come down.
Oh, we're having a great time.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Did you
Like,
come
you've
for
been
the
having fun.
dancing?
Or the drinking.
I definitely did not come for the drinking, but I
This might
came.
not be a good
So you
idea.
came for the
talking to her.
dancing. Excellent. 1, 2, 3.
I
Keep
could
it up.
definitely watch this show for a while.
She
Yes.
keeps doing this counting thing. I don't understand it. My feet do not follow.
You just gotta feel it, apparently, Savar. Don't let your mind get in the way of your feet. You know what I'm saying?
I find this very difficult.
Well, maybe 3 more drinks and you'll forget all about it.
I like that idea.
So
It takes a swig.
Tika notices that the other 2 had like kind of tossed aside the 1 bottle, so she goes to kind of pick up a bit in a little hostly way
Mm-hmm.
that that's what her goddess would want. So she kind of is picking up, but she's also like not listening to maybe what they're saying just in case.
Okay.
While
Let's have you make a perception check because you are. Although Tika, I think, would be perceptive enough to pick it up, there's also the grog and the inebriation that is threatening to dull her senses.
I got a 17.
Oh my. You,
Nah, she's still on it.
Yeah.
She's still pretty much killing it.
Oh, Tika can drink.
yeah,
Tika's no lightweight. Tika's no lightweight.
for real. So you hear them grumbling about how one of them knew all along how Ivik wasn't himself anymore because of the whole situation with the food starting to have tasted bad, and how one of them was just like super sure that their detective skills were being overlooked by the captain, and how they need more responsibilities on the ship, and that they're not just like these kind of 2-bit crew members excuse me, who should just be delegated to carrying dead body parts and such to be thrown overboard. It's standard fare of the people who are disgruntled about their job.
Yeah.
But you also do notice
I
that
read-
they're taking bets on who can woo Mara first.
Oh, cute. Tika gives a little like coy giggle. And yeah, I wander back to the group.
Okay. So all of you are gathered together at the table. There's still half a bottle of rum left.
I'm she's Tika's coasting for now. She's doing all right. She doesn't need to over imbibe. She knows her limit.
Okay.
Well, how'd your little discussion go? Bodhi,
Be
Kiva.
interesting. Very interesting.
Yeah, we were talking about how I don't think it'd be wise of us to stop at this city. I think we got to figure out a way to convince the captain not to drop Garrel off, uh, Mr. Garrel, and we should just proceed to the wall. What do you think? I think it'd be a valuable asset for us for where we're going and what we're doing. The guy obviously knows a little bit about the information we're after and why we're going to the wall.
Well,
What
are
do
there
you think?
any cons that you've thought of with this?
Him achieving absolute true power and then probably destroying the world.
Okay,
A
so
pretty big con.
I have a feeling that what's beyond the wall, what we're gonna find beyond the wall, is gonna be a lot scarier than Mr. Garrel. So I think there's gonna be a certain point where even our enemies can become our friends
You know what?
if we have a
I
common enemy.
I'm inclined to believe you. You're completely sober. You
Mm.
haven't talked to the guy. So, all right.
The only disadvantage would be is if both of our goals end up in opposition of each other. If it comes down to the fact that we get to the end of the road and there has to be we have to draw a line in the sand, then we will. But until then, I think the more allies we can acquire to face what is beyond the wall, I think the better we are off. The better off we
Well,
are. What do you
and
think?
a guy like that, I feel like you'd rather have him on your side than against you.
Yeah, wait until he turns against you. But right now, he's the closest thing we have to somebody I trust. I don't know, other than the captain and you guys,
Yeah,
of course.
I believe that makes sense.
We believe the captain will go for this.
That's where you come in.
Huh?
Yeah, I think we're gonna have to show value. I mean, there's gonna be a hefty reward for dropping Mr. Garrel off, so we're gonna have to show more value than the bounty on his head. I have a feeling.
And then there's that gentleman that's always hanging around him, the sallow fellow, very sad and uh,
He's
the
kind of a
guard
Yeah,
with the or the one of them.
with the eyes. Yeah, the dark. The elf.
The two eyes.
Yeah,
with the two.
with the. Yeah, I wonder if we change the captain's mind, if the captain of the if Well, I don't know. Is the guard? Do you guys know? Is the guard a member of the ship or purely like some like an agent tasked with delivering him to the Drow City?
Ladder.
I think it's two. Is you think it's B? Yeah, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
We haven't really talked to the guard too much. There's not the sunniest disposition out there, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
No.
Hmm. Okay, so
I get that. I get that. Sunny
yeah,
disposition.
dark elf. Yeah, you know what I mean.
Yes.
Oh, I just got it.
Thank you. Thank
Yes.
That was very good.
Hey,
it.
I'm working on my
I'll never
delivery.
admit when I got
Got
it.
that. I get it.
I got it very late. I will admit it because I have no inhibitions right
Working on my delivery.
Get it.
So well,
I get it.
The drow scares me for sure, but I don't think the drow can take on an entire ship. If we get the captain on our side, the drow will either have to be on our side or go overboard.
Well, I hope he can swim.
I also hope that we can do a bit of negotiating. I would hate to have to throw a drow overboard,
Yeah, I
even if
wonder what.
they're kind of, like I said, a buzzkill.
Yeah, I wonder if the drow has some personal stake uh in what's going on. Like, did Baron do something to the drow's family? I mean, it seems to be pretty.
I mean, we could ask him.
It's personal or dutiful. Why are they so? Could they be bought off? Who knows? Let's see. Everybody's got a price. I got 7 nondescript leashing coins.
Ooh.
Itching to get rid of.
I have no problem getting rid of the drow. Anyone who holds weapon to someone's neck who is unarmed has no honor.
You're feisty. You're ready for a fight. I'm down with it. If you go diving in, I'll be right at your back. But until then, I'm gonna try to use the power of negotiation.
Nope.
I'm
So-
I'm on the side of negotiation as well, but I am just tipsy enough that I would definitely get in a scrap if I had to for you.
You're always feisty, Tika.
Oh, stop it.
You should try to prevent the fight. Take this news to the captain.
I'm with you. I'm following you.
Savar. And she holds
I
up.
would love to go speak to the captain. I would love that very much.
I think
Okay.
likes the captain.
Maybe.
What did you say?
I think the pirates. You got some eyes for the captain there, Mr. Savar?
That is a crazy. What?
What?
All right, I'll back off. I'll back off.
As
That is.
the four of you go up to the main deck.
I look back to see about Mara. Is Mara gonna be all right below deck?
Oh, she's asleep in the hammock already. Like she is holding on to that jade statue like it's a blankie.
Mm-hmm.
I leave Orenji to watch over her
Oh.
Okay.
and to keep an eye on her and her jade fox.
Yep. He
We have
climbs.
the Tika has the jade monkey.
Yeah.
And she has the jade fox. Okay.
Yeah. So he will climb up to just where the hammock is tied off to.
And I give him a jerky.
You see him rationing it. Like he takes a little bite and he holds on to the stick. As you guys climb up, Basten kind of looks at the four of you. Oh, I wish you well in your endeavors, and I hope that this goes our way. And he kind of smiles. And as he does, Savar, you are affected by bardic inspiration. So you
Aw.
have an extra D6 to use for the next 10 minutes.
Okay.
I have a feeling that's going to come into play very quickly.
But you knock on the door to the captain's quarters and you hear the first mate's voice. What the fuck do you want?
We would like to speak to the captain, please.
It's
First mate.
the fucking four of you again, and you hear the door open and you see the blonde half elf kind of standing there. Fuck. Alright, come on in, I guess.
Oh. Numa, you look stunning as ever.
You see that her hard countenance kind of starts to soften, and there's a bit of a smile, and then she kind of like clears her throat and washes it away from her face. Sure, just come the fuck in already. And once all of you are inside, she closes the door and kind of stands by it. The captain looks over it at the four of you from the table that she's kind of using to plot the course. Excuse me, she kind of raises an eyebrow. Were we not done earlier?
I
Captain,
have a
it
question.
seems
Yep,
we,
go for it. Go for it.
Captain, we were kind of wondering, perhaps maybe if we could not turn in the criminal that you are currently transporting, and instead we use him to go through the wall and, do our thing.
A great start.
Good start. Good start.
You want me to not turn in the criminal that we've been carrying for the last 2 weeks and to turn away a 5,000 gold piece reward for his arrival so that we can go through the wall ahead of schedule? Am I understanding this
Perhaps.
correctly?
I believe so. Corrections, anyone? No?
That is what we're asking. We're asking to just bypass the stop and to take our prisoner to the wall. It's our belief that uh, the he will provide more value for us there than the 5,000 gold that you will get by dropping him off.
You are aware that from the 5,000 gold that we are getting, that's where your pay comes from.
I was not aware of that.
Okay. Maybe it's the ale talking. But hear me out. He obviously has some magic, Misty Step. He seems to want to be on our side. And we are pirates. What if we turn him in? He Misty Steps out. We take our reward and go to the wall.
Mm.
So now you want to chance us
Yeah.
having to deal with drow, Imperial
In a
guards.
citadel? Yeah.
I said it
think
might be the ale.
it might be it. I have a feeling that we'll be grossly outnumbered once we land at port.
The first mate by the door is just like, they're fucking drunk.
Only half of us are drunk. Thank you. Only half of us.
You gotta guess.
High five.
You have to guess which ones are drunk.
High
You have
five,
to guess.
Kiba.
Uh, the other thing is, what if it might be the ale talking, as Tika said. Not that
Just
I'm one of the drunk ones. But what if we delayed the turning in of the criminal? What if we went to the wall, came back, then turned him in? Still 5,000, just like 5,000 next week, as opposed to tomorrow.
What honeyed words has he spilled into your ears to get this desire inflamed in you? I'm wondering. Before he spoke to you, your group couldn't care less about him being in his cage.
True. But there seems to be there's a trail of uh well, to be honest with you, we've discovered some jade trinkets that I believe that it tie us to Mr. Basten. And if we cut the trail off now, I have a feeling we won't see those to fruition. And I believe that this trail of jade statues will benefit us once we do get to the wall. So I believe I want
larger
to use him
bounty.
like an alchemist detecting lead that we can turn into gold. Uh, that's the kind of uh, vibe I get from him, energy that I get from him.
First mate just kind of puts her foot up on the door. She's like, it's a fucking pyramid scheme, is what it fucking sounds like.
Well, what if you're at the top of that pyramid, though? Which is where I'm propositioning. You, Captain, and your crew is at the top of this pyramid. The four of us and Mr. Basten Garrel are below you.
Captain nods.
not that we're propositioning you. We don't think like you are a woman of the night, but
No, no.
like we are. Yeah, this is like yes.
Everybody has a price, though.
Kiva's face right now. Just like
Savar,
Yeah.
everybody's
I just look down.
I think if you
And-
drop what I'm saying to you, Captain, is if we drop Mr. Basten Garrel off at the Drow City, I think we're stepping over a dime to pick up a silver piece to pick a gold piece to pick up a silver piece. And I think we're missing out on the big gold piece just for an easy, quick payout.
What do we do about his? What's the word? Shadow.
Yeah. What do we do about the shadow? What do you think, Tika? What do we do about the shadow? What do we do about the drought?
That's that drunken face of like, why are you calling on me?
I need some wisdom in this point.
no, sorry, I was just thinking like backstory and whatever else what she would actually say. And I was just I'm inclined to want to like have a discussion about it, maybe with him, because if he's willing to work with us, it's not bad to have someone else on our side, as we've discovered.
Mhm.
But once again, I'm also not afraid to, teach someone a lesson forever. So
Mhm.
Also, we
Oops.
discussed the whole.
yes, that's one of those lessons.
What the hell?
Yeah, the
What
captain.
did you guys do downstairs?
The captain kind of tilts her head, and her eyebrow comes up. Are you going to dunk him in a barrel of water? Is that what I'm understanding?
There's a lot of drinking involved downstairs, I see.
Yeah, we missed out on some
That-
fun, I guess.
We actually didn't discuss putting him in a barrel and then in the ocean, but that could work too. In case he doesn't know how to swim.
Oh, you wanted to throw him overboard, is what I'm understanding now.
Swimmies, yes.
I didn't say it. You said it, Kiba, but it's not a bad idea.
I just said that someone who holds his weapon against an unarmed person has no honor.
Agreed. But we can also take the high road, get close enough where we're a day and a half row away from the citadel, just kind of like take a banana turn and drop him off in a skiff and let him row his way in, where we can have more than a day or two, give him more than a day or two lead. That's also asking a lot from the captain, and I don't want to get rid of one of our own ladies, safety boats if this
Yeah,
we
let's
run into more trouble. But it's an idea.
let's have Sevar roll his persuasion. And
Also, I frenzy raged last time, so I have 1 level of exhaustion, correct?
oh yeah,
So I have disadvantage on all skill checks.
correct.
Oh, right.
And then
But you have inspiration.
You have
I do
bardic
have my
inspiration.
inspiration. I also have a -1 modifier to persuasion.
Oh, good times.
Oh my
I didn't say
Uh,
anything because I was like, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, you're the best one
oh.
suited for the job. I get it.
Oh.
Okay, so it's that plus a d6.
Yeah. So right now, 10 is your lower one.
So 16.
16. Oof. Against all odds, the liquid courage, the words of Basten Garrel's kind of push
The wink.
to be better than you are, that kind of smile of reassurance that I don't think Sevar has had too many encounters with, just bubbles up in your speech, and the captain kind of nods. Let me sleep on it, and as we get closer, we'll see if we can figure out how to get rid of our shadow.
Thank you, Captain.
Humanely, of course. Let's try to
Of course.
avoid starting a war with the Drow if we can. You just hear from the
Pretty
door.
loud.
I was really afraid of. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to avoid as well.
You just hear from the door. Is there anything fucking else, or are you done now?
Do
I
not
woke
need.
up on the
I-
wrong side of the hammock this morning.
I
Jesus.
turn around to Numa, the first mate,
Yep.
and I go, "Did you know that you are absolutely breathtaking, and that's the least interesting thing about you?"
Oh, make just a flat charisma roll for me.
Okay.
-2 for alcohol.
No, I got a 6.
No.
Oh,
You could have had her on your side.
I wanted persuasion because I was like, I got a +3 in persuasion.
That'll
like-
bring you up to a plus. That'll bring you up to a total of 9, though. Won't it?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Either way, you still sub 10. She kind of looks at you. She raises an eyebrow. Yeah, it's real clear to know which one of you is fucking drunk. She opens the door. Fuck out.
there's no need for this hostility and attitude.
I think we should go.
Yeah. Tika grabs her like walking stick quarterstaff and just kind of heads out.
Okay.
Just as I walk out, I just look at the first mate.
He just eyeballs you as you walk on, closes the door. Bye now, and just slams the door closed. You see Basten kind of hasn't moved, he just looks over at you, just smiles. You look as if everything went well.
Tika kind of looks up after her like pretty failed like thing little pickup line or whatever, and just kind of gives them a
Steel finger guns.
just good chow.
Good job. Right, the rest of the day goes by uneventfully. Night falls. All of you find a hammock. kind of rest up
Long
in.
rest.
All of you get a long rest.
Yes.
Quick question: because I ate and drank and now I'm long resting, do I no longer have exhaustion?
You no longer have exhaustion.
Oh, thank God.
That with that long rest, do I heal?
The long rest heals you
Up.
up to full. Anyone that used spell slots gets all of them back. I am a benevolent god.
I'm gonna go to the bathroom so fast.
Okay. The next day,
And how do
Goes-
we do this again? Long rest, right?
next day goes by uneventfully. The next few days go by uneventfully. Then there's a big to do on the main deck as you hear the drow. This is incredible, and it will be answered in force. I hope you understand this. You are aiding a criminal of the Empire, and as such, all of you are now enemies of the Empire.
Oh, we're gonna have to do this the hard way.
But he willingly gets onto whatever skiff they've given him. He just kind of like eyeballs the captain the whole time and just like, I hope you understand, Captain Haethrou, that this is not the best course of action. But she just kind of doesn't show any sign. And they drop him into the water. And the boat does start to swerve towards the storm wall.
Let's go.
One of the crew members comes over and unties Basten Garrel. Stretches his fingers. He kind of stretches his arms and legs. You see him pull out from his satchel a small compass And as it catches the light, you can see the reflection kind of create an arrow shape, a kind of pointed edge, unlike the flash. And he kind of points in the direction. You could go that way, please. That's where we're going. And the ship turns. And that evening, there's a bit of trepidation that's kind of spread among the crew. The warnings of being enemies of the Drow Empire have kind of sunken in. And the sound of the sea is very tumultuous. There's churning that's going on. You can hear the rumbling of thunder in the distance. The scent of rain is imminent. And then from the crow's nest, you just hear, "Ship! Ship!" And all the lanterns start to rush towards the aft of the ship. Anybody that's up on the main deck can see behind the ship currently, coming up almost as if being pulled by an invisible crane, is the bow of this massive kind of four-mast ship that's coming up out of the water. It looks like it's been destroyed, though. There are holes in the actual shell of the ship itself. One of the masts is missing, but there's an ephemeral kind of continuation of it that leads to these very spectral looking sails. The ship itself, you can hear just this kind of low chanting, yo, yo, and it just starts to cut across, but above the water itself. And you hear the sound of a heavy catapult going off. And there's what looks to be this writhing ball that has been launched from the ship. And as it comes in contact with the mast at the top of the deck, you notice that it's not a ball of mud or stone or iron. It is a ball of bodies. And as it crashes into the mast, it separates into these 6 humanoid forms. Some of them are just laden with barnacles and just sea creatures, and there's parts of a coral reef on some of their kind of chest cavities. But if I could have all of you roll initiative.
Oh boy, this is something. We go.
Oh, okay.
See what's up.
Initiative.
14 for Behodi. What? Dirty 20 for Sevar.
Yep.
And Kiba with a 6. What did Tika get?
A 12.
Oh. Okay. So it's looking like Sevar is going to start us off. Where is Sevar in all of this?
He's definitely on the upper deck. So
Okay.
he's seen all this happen.
Okay. So you definitely saw the heavy kind of mass of bodies hit. You saw them separate and you saw them. You notice the sound wasn't very flesh-like. It wasn't like the thump that you would imagine a body with skin would make. There was a heavy thunk, almost like what a body clad in armor would sound like. and there is just this very deep and gashing kind of concaved mess that has where it impacted the mast. You can see it. It's been damaged. But even as they move, you can hear the sound of metal grinding against metal and the sound of what rusted metal might sound like. There are 6 of them stretched out around the main mast.
How far away are they from me?
The closest one is maybe 10 feet away from you.
Okay. I'm gonna bonus action go into a rage. And then I'm gonna run up to him and just hit him with my greatsword.
Okay.
That is a 22 to hit.
22 to hit. That's going to hit.
Hmm.
Roll your damage.
And then that's 10 damage.
10 damage.
Nice.
I think.
Oh wait, and I'm raging, so that's actually I think plus 2.
Ooh, so that's 12.
Or
12 damage.
and then that's the end of my turn.
You cut one in half.
Oh,
Nice.
And you notice that as your blade cuts across the body, sparks are giving off. And as the two halves slump down on either side, you notice that there's no blood. There's just seawater and this black muck that comes out of them. But you also notice that there's no organs. There go. 2 of them come up to you. 2 of them engage the crew members, and 2 of them kind of go making their way down into the lower levels. Terrible. 5 will not hit you, and a 9 will not hit you. Their weapons, one of them is like a cutlass blade, one of them is like a scimitar with a serrated edge. They come flying towards you. Excuse me. And you notice that as they do, that they're not weapons that they're holding, like they're weapons that are attached to them. There's these kind of heavy deposits of silt and mud and grime, and just it's been barnacled over, but it looks like they've been fused onto where their fists should be. But they just kind of scrape off of your skin. Some of them just don't find enough purchase with your scales. But you have avoided any kind of damage so far. It brings us to Bahodi. Where's Bahodi in all this?
Well, I've been downstairs. I'm always up. If I'm not actively doing something, I'm
Yep.
studying below deck where I can read and not be blinded by the light.
Yeah. And Basten would
Right.
probably be spending a lot of time with you, kind of over your shoulder, looking at whatever you're looking at.
Get your rule books. No, I'm kidding. So yeah, if I'm hearing this ruckus, it's gonna take me a bit to get up there. I'm only on the second deck where our stuff is. I'm not at the lower deck where
You-
the brig is.
You could take a double move and get up to the top. So you'd be taking your move action and your action to take another move action. Kind of be trading it in, or you could just take your move action, get up to the base of the stairs, and then kind of prepare yourself for whatever is coming. But you do hear movement making their way towards the stairs.
All right, I'm gonna brace myself for. Then I definitely don't want to use both. I'm gonna stop halfway and see if
Okay.
I can get an eye on anything.
Yeah, you can definitely see that something that isn't remotely in appearance of what you remember the crew wearing is at the top of the stairs coming down.
Not on the same team, huh?
Hmm. You can see that it's dripping wet. There's just this kind of plant life that looks like it's adapted to underwater living that's just kind of suffocating currently because it's out of the water. But there's definitely something here that is not remotely human. Uh, That'll bring us to Tika. Where's Tika in all this?
So I would like to think that Tika is like braiding Mara's hair,
Yes.
probably on like that- hanging out, talking about life.
Yeah.
So at seeing Bodhi kind of jump at the ready and start to head, I would probably do the same thing, uh, and kind of alert Mara if she was either, kind of living in the whole playing with the hair thing.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So
She's
either we,
probably just lost in thought.
yeah,
This is good.
So yeah, I'll take off after them.
Okay.
Movement speed of about 25.
Yeah.
And a half.
So you're
Shot.
just behind Bahodi. In the space between you and Bahodi, you see Basten Garrel step up. And you see him kind of draw from his, not even from his messenger bag, like he just kind of holds his hand out in a kind of mimic of pulling a weapon. And as he does, this blade, this rapier, just kind of manifests itself. And from a sheath that isn't even there, you see him just draw it. It manifests, it kind of curves around his hand. It is a beautiful piece of steel and gold and silver filigree. But it definitely radiates with magic. And he kind of looks down towards you. Please keep yourself safe. This I feel like our adventures are just beginning. And kind of winks. And as he does, you are also affected by bardic inspiration.
Guy can just shoot winks at you from across the room.
Get jealous.
Someone's gonna multi-class into Bard.
Right? And then it brings us to Kiba. Where's Kiba in all of this?
Kiba's probably been on the top deck, but in the back. Either between meditating, reading a book, and playing chess with Orenji.
Yep. So you definitely saw the whole thing crash into the mast. You saw Sevar just cut one in half.
Yeah. So I would head that direction. I'm guessing this all happened in the front, right?
It's in the middle of the ship. It's in the heart of the ship.
In the heart of the ship.
Yeah.
Okay. So I will make my way, but I'm not gonna go directly into battle. I will create distance, so maybe gain some high ground. Probably myself into one of the crow nests. Not the one at the tallest peak, but somewhere below.
Okay. So yeah, the first tier where
Yeah, first,
where the sails kind of get attached to.
yeah, to create myself some distance.
Yep.
Pull out my longbow and arrows.
All right, take your shot.
And I will shoot. Look at pretty much I scan the deck to see. So there's 6 of them. You say one of them is already 5.
5 now.
Now, because Sevar took one down. Correct. I saw that happen. So I'm gonna get the next one that might be coming in his direction.
Okay. You know that he has 2 on top of him.
On top. We'll go and take one shot at one of the ones.
Yep.
Let me see. Ooh, that's a crit.
It is a crit.
Oh,
It is a crit.
Yes.
For your damage. Only 6.
Something happens when I crit, right? As a
Oh, no.
fighter and all that.
Double damage, yeah.
So I go to the damage.
Mhm.
Do it automatically, or yeah, it did.
It did.
But
11.
something else happens. Doesn't something else happen because of my my fighter doesn't
What's your
weapon
fighter?
attack scores? Yeah, weapon attack scores a critical hit on a roll of 19 or 20.
Mm-hmm.
Improve critical.
Yeah.
Something else happens when I do.
That's what it is.
Oh, right here, savage attack. When you score a critical hit, roll one of the dice an additional time and
Oh.
add it to the extra damage.
Yeah.
Because that's part of the Half-Orc.
Yeah, so roll another d8.
Okay. Where do I roll the d8?
The bottom right, you'll see what looks to be a die shape. Oh, it'll give you options.
I was like, man.
Yeah, on the bottom left for my interface.
Yep.
Wait, no, just one. One. Good. Three.
3 more. So 14 total damage. The arrow,
Attack.
yeah, the arrow just comes straight down through the thing's neck, and it starts to turn its head in the direction you see, Savar. You see this arrow just kind of plink into the thing's neck. One of the heavy chunks of barnacle kind of falls off, and as it starts turning in the direction of where the arrow came from, you just see it kind of collapse and just stop moving entirely. You guys have killed
I
2 of
immediately
them.
cheer.
Yeah, but
Amazing, Kiba.
it does bring us back to your turn. Start of your turn.
Oh, perfect. Because then I will go after the after I cheer for Kiba's amazing shot. I'm gonna try and hit the one. There's only one who's on me right now.
Yep,
right?
there's one left on
left?
top of you. There's one that attacked one of the crew members, and there's 2 that have gone downstairs.
So I'm gonna attack the one that's on top of me.
Mhm.
Oh, okay. That was almost really bad. But that's a crit. 25 to hit.
What? Yeah. Jesus, you guys are just eating these people.
And then that's 4d6 plus 3, and
Yep.
that's plus 2, so 19.
19 damage. Yeah, you cleave another one in twain from shoulder to hip.
And then can I use my movement to move to the ones that are attacking the crew?
Yeah. You can definitely clear the distance.
Then that's what I'll do.
Yep. You notice that there's no fear in their eyes. Like they've just seen you cleave 2 of their crewmates in twain, but the one attacking the member of your crew is just unrelentless. Unrelented. He's just kind of sitting there, just trying to kill this thing. And he takes a swing and does connect, and you see the crew member go down, screaming about the pain that he's in. The other 2 that went downstairs, one of them kind of crashes into Bahodi. The other one crashes into Basten Garrel. One on Bahodi rolled a 5, so that's not going to hit you. Just too quick for him. The one on Basten rolled a 12, and that's not going to hit him either, so he's also kind of dancing around, but also holding his hand out like a protective parent towards Tika. But it does bring us to Bahodi's turn.
It is time to get naughty. So he didn't hit me. He didn't damage me. All right,
Did not.
or it. All right, then. Let's give him a witch's bolt right to the face.
Okay.
A hit DC. Oh, 15 plus 5.
Ooh,
20.
that hits. Roll your damage.
20.
Yeah.
It's 2d12.
2d12. About to wreck this man's life.
Oh boy, that's unfortunate for him. A
17.
17. Yeah.
God damn, yeah.
An 11 and a stick.
You're so used to the witch bolt kind of lasting longer than this. It's one of those spells that you kind of prepare yourself to keep your concentration on, but the lightning lash shoots up and out at this thing, and as it does, it just fries him completely. And the lightning courses over its body. You see all of the sea creatures, the sea anemones, the barnacles, all of the kind of coral just shatter off of it, revealing what he is underneath. And you see that it is almost like a golem. It's a metallic humanoid. And it just falls to its knees, slumps over, and just collapses in front of you. His turn.
Okay. So she is going to continue following now Bastion and Bodhi up. And I'd like to cast my cantrip of Sacred Flame, if I
Okay.
can, at the nearest creature that is still alive.
Okay. You can get by them and go upstairs and do it on the one attacking Savar at this point, or you can do it on the one that's downstairs. It's kind of split his attention between Bahodi and Basten.
Oh, I'll stay downstairs then.
Okay.
Quickly. Sorry.
No problem. And that is a dexterity saving throw, yeah?
Yes.
I'm rolling like garbage. I'm never going to use my metallic dice again. I rolled a 10, so I think that's lower.
But it is only 4 radiant damage, so.
Okay. Little mote of radiance explodes out in its kind of chest cavity, and it rattles it, but it just is still trying to figure out which one of the two to go after. And then Basten will take his sword. Yeah, even when it's an NPC, I still roll garbage. And just it skitters across this kind of coral laced body. Iba.
So once again, I scan the deck to see how many are left on the deck.
There's one on the main deck, and one has gone downstairs.
Okay. And the one on the main deck is on top of Bob, right?
It's turning its attention towards Savar.
I will once again release another arrow in that direction.
Okay. See what murder you bring to the world today. $17. That's gonna hit. Roll your damage.
Damn, Kiwa.
Damage is 5.
5. Okay.
Yeah.
So clinks into upper shoulder. Savar sees the arrow, not as lethal, and it's still kind of sticking out of this thing, but it just doesn't phase it. It still has its eyes on you. But it does bring us to Savar's turn.
So I'm gonna. I see that arrow go in, and I'm like, that was still very good. This is great. I love this battle. And I'm just gonna go at him with my greatsword.
Nice.
Excellent.
And it's a whole 6 because I rolled a critical fail.
Oh no.
Oh.
You are so emboldened by what the two that you've cut beforehand. You're like, these are paper models at best, and you just turn away almost in your hubris, almost like a color of money moment where you just kind of look towards Kiba and you swing your sword without actually looking, and you hear and you feel the impact,
No.
but it's actually the railing on the side of the ship.
Oh, thank God.
That brings us to their turn. It's going to try to stab you with a total of 6. It's not going to do anything.
Getting spicy in here.
Yeah, the one downstairs is going to try to attack Bahodi. 7 is not enough. The white eyes are just too much for it, and it kind of turns at the last moment. But it is Bahodi's turn.
All right. Kind of hoping they would hit me. So I'm just gonna no.
So am I.
I'm gonna just. I'm not gonna use my other pack spell. I'm gonna keep it. Let's go with an Eldritch Blast, which is an app. I can just do that whenever I want to.
Yep, it's a cantrip.
DC +5. Ooh, 7 + 5 is 12.
12 hits. Roll your damage.
Nice. It's just D3 + 10, or D10
Plus 3.
+3. So 7 + 3 is 10.
10 damage. God damn. You guys are
Everybody's rolling out of their minds today.
monsters. The blast just hits him center of mass, and you see the barnacles and the kind of coral just go flying. There's a charred husk where the blast hits and just kind of takes out the metal. And you notice there's no blood, there's no organs, it's just hollow. And there's a skeletal kind of structure underneath, but it just kind of hits its knees and collapses on top of the other body that's there as well.
Dang.
And Tika's turn. The 2 that were down here are dead. You can hear sounds of combat upstairs.
So, would I have to use my dash to get all the way up there, or will
No,
25 get me up
25,
there?
25 will get you high enough that your head will be at the level of everybody's feet, so you'll see the action.
Okay. So, I'd like to make my movement like towards and up the stairs,
Mhm.
and then if I can do my bonus action. Oh no! Never mind. Don't
Mm.
listen to me.
Okay.
I'm going to attack with the crossbow and shoot at the one that I think is near Savar that he just missed.
Do it.
Sweet, I will. 15 to hit.
That hits.
Okay.
Little plunk of your crossbow sets this bolt flying.
Nice. All right, and then we got a D8, 6 + 1, 7 points of damage.
7 points of
Bludgeoning-
damage.
or not
Does
bludgeoning.
Savar have a tail? Did we ever talk about if he had a tail?
I don't think we spoke about it, but I pictured him as having a tail, I believe.
Okay.
I don't know if I wrote it down.
There's a moment where you put your foot up on the railing to pull your sword free, and as your tail swishes in one direction, you feel this draft. Excuse me. This counter gust to the where the wind is coming from, and you hear the thunk of this crossbow bolt as it come flying between your legs and hit this thing in its own groin, and it just kind of like looks down. There's what looks to be a pained expression, and it just kind of collapses over the side of the boat. You just hear the splash. But you have defeated all 6 of the interlopers.
I'd cheer for Tika at her
Yay!
amazing shot.
You turn around and she just gives you like a wink and then blows off the crossbow.
That's one less bolt that Tika has access to, though.
That's true.
Small prices. But yeah, the The 5 that are left over are easily accessible if you want to take a look at them.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I
Should we do
get
like an
that.
investigation or?
Yeah, if everybody wants to roll investigation.
I bow after the little battle and I head down from the first tier close nest and investigate.
Yep.
Ooh.
Uh,
16.
oh, man,
16. Okay.
this is not gonna be too good. I let Orenji go and gather up the arrows and investigate as well.
Yep. Just let me know what you get.
Critical. 20.
Okay. So yeah, so between everybody's investigation roll and the natural 20, you see that they don't have a lot on them. They're waterlogged and water damaged. They're not human. They're what look to be golems of some kind. They're metallic and wooden. The wood in most of them has kind of like rotted away to just house different kind of sea creatures, sea coral kind of denizens. But one of the ones at the bottom has a shard of a sapphire, and as you pull it from its grasp, you see a small beam of energy kind of shoot out from it. It's incredibly bright towards Tika because she's the closest to it and she has one of the idols, but the other one's a little fainter and it shoots out to the hammock where Mara's kind of asleep.
What's happened? I think back. Have I encountered any of this before from my many travels and battles?
No,
The
this
Empire.
is new to you.
Okay.
Um, I mean, Tika would think it's beautiful, but I don't know. I don't think she would know anything about
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
The light only lasts for maybe a few seconds before it just diminishes. But every time that somebody new kind of touches it, it does kind of burst out from it. Excuse me.
What the hell is this?
Not in my head. I look at Bodhi. He knows.
I've never
Comes to
seen
all this
anything like
when it
this
comes to
before.
weird shit. He knows.
I've never seen anything like this before.
The shard looks to be maybe about 2 human fingers in width and about a human like an average human's middle finger in length. It's a beautiful cut sapphire that looks to be maybe worth 100 gold pieces.
But there's light emanating from it. It obviously has magical properties.
I
It
don't
does.
have like detect magic.
Should we show it to Basten?
I mean, he's there, he's seeing it.
Does he have anything to say about it?
If he does, he's keeping it to himself. Like you see that he's kind of observed the situation and he's kind of made mental notes.
I'm listening, but my Orenji is barking and needs to be left
Yeah.
to lower decks. So I'm listening on my cell phone. I'm staying in tune. I'll be right
Yep.
back.
Yep.
After looking at Bodhi and Bodhi has no answers, I look at the next possible magic user that's Basten.
Yeah, he's got his his hand on his chin. He's got this kind of pensive look about him, but he's definitely hasn't said anything out loud.
Hmm. Well, just put it in our pocket and save it for later. I don't know if we need to dissect this thing right now.
Yep.
Could just be a sapphire. But what's the light pointing at, or what's it sprawling out to? Is it like indicating something, or is it
It is it
is
is
it being drawn to something?
it is coming out of it almost like a web, like a very thin tendril of a web, and it's attaching itself to the jade idols.
Huh.
Yeah, because I was just gonna say it attached itself to Mara as well. So maybe should we touch? Should we touch them together?
Yeah. Just tip to tip.
So yeah, exactly. So she takes off her backpack and kind of undoes it a little bit. Who has the sapphire right now?
Whoever wants it.
Oh, while they're doing this,
Mhm.
I'm gonna keep an eye on the ship.
Go by
Other
the
ship.
first.
Yeah, where the attack came from, because I just remembered about that, and we're
Yeah.
getting distracted down here.
Yeah. Everybody is kind of worried because the ship has not only caught up, but is also gaining. You notice that because it is not on the water itself, it is kind of skimming over the water's edge. It's not beholden to the drag that comes from the sea itself.
Hmm.
And you see these two heavy ballistas just kind of fire, and
Hmm.
all of you downstairs hear the thunk of one very large impact, and you also see this steel tipped piece of tree just kind of crash into the lower level, and you recognize it as a ballista bolt. But you see that it has this spectral chain attached to it that leads back to the ghost ship.
We got booned.
Yeah.
Straight pooned.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There are bodies that are making their
Right.
way over to the ship.
We can figure out about these sapphires later. Say we prepare for another battle.
And I put my backpack back on.
It looks like you have like a good minute before they make it to the ship. Do you guys want to prepare yourselves in any way, shape, or form?
Like cannons? Like
There are ballistas that the ship has. It has two ballistas at the front of it. There's no gunpowder in this world.
okay.
But yeah, the phase Gambit has two ballistas that are pointed forward, or rather angled forward, 45-degree spread on the front of the ship. So you could drop anchor and let them get in front of you if you want to give that option to the captain. But right now she's focused on trying to outrun this thing.
Well, we can't really outrun it if they're attached to us.
True.
Start pointing out to certain crew members of our ship.
Mhm.
Tell them to start hacking away at that ballista to get us unhooked.
They rush downstairs.
Start, just pointing, giving orders by pointing fingers at them.
They rush up. They don't question it.
Okay.
There's a moment where one of the swells hits your ship, and you see it kind of go up, and as it's coming down, the chain, you see the same kind of undulation as the chain kind of matches, and as it does, the six bodies just come flying over towards the ship itself, almost like they're using that as propulsion. And you see them all land on the top deck where the wheel is. You see four of them kind of have the same appearance, as the ones that you kind of fought previously, but there's two. One that has no hands, but just these kind of small short swords that protrude out from its wrists, and one that looks to have this massive kind of crossbow just sitting on the forearm of its left side. And you just see that with the right, it kind of pulls a bolt into it and starts to kind of cock it back. But we start with Savar again. Where's Savara as this new group has landed? Muted.
That had to happen.
Yeah.
We were gathered around the crystal, right?
Yeah. So all of you are still downstairs with Basten.
Okay, so I'm gonna run upstairs and try to get as close as I can to somebody. Can I get to somebody in 30 feet?
In 30 feet, no. You can get up to the upper level and then to the main deck. And then you can get a couple of steps up towards the upper deck where the wheel is, but it's just kind of puts you 10 feet too shy of.
Okay. So I can do as my action, I can do a dash, right? To double my movement.
You could.
And then as a bonus action, I will go into another rage because it
Okay.
definitely has gone away.
Yeah.
Um
Do
and
you have like a hand axe or a javelin that you might want to throw instead?
oh, actually I do.
Okay.
So instead of the double move,
Mhm.
I'll go into the rage and then throw my javelin
Okay.
at the nearest one.
Make an attack roll. See what happens.
That is 19 to hit.
Yeah, you're gonna hit.
And then that's uh, 9 damage because it's 7 plus the 2 from the rage.
The javelin goes flying out of your hand straight into the back of this thing, and you can just see it protrude outward from its chest. And as he turns around to look at you, you just see him kind of collapse and roll over, so that the javelin is kind of sticking out from both ends of him like a pinned marshmallow. Uh, it brings us to Bahodi's turn.
Well, I'm too far away from the action really to do anything right now.
You could go upstairs with your movement, and you aren't beholden to being in melee, so you could still get into the action if you wanted to.
Yeah. If I got 120 feet on an Eldritch Blast, so
Oof, yeah,
I'll do that again
okay,
on closest guy to me, let's say.
sure. You can see one guy kind of has his attention turned towards Savar from up on the upper level. You can definitely
Not my boy,
see,
Savar!
you can definitely see him though.
That'll make me angry. My wide eyes.
Yeah.
Pew, pew.
Those are
Okay,
terrifying.
I know.
Make your attack roll. Let's see if Dinar is with you.
10 only on this one.
That hits.
What?
Roll your
Do it.
damage.
6.
6. The bolt, you notice that as it hits, unlike the ones that you faced downstairs, the moment it hits this one, it shatters it completely. Like there's body parts that go flying, but again, it's not a human. There's no blood. There's no kind of viscous.
No, I'm starting a seashell collection of these parts.
Brings us
What I get from it.
to one of their turns. The one with the crossbow, you see it pop up onto the railing, and then it takes aim at Savar. Oh, this is actually gonna hit. 19 total.
Nice.
And the crossbow does that. You see the bolt is jagged. The tip is just serrated and rusted, and it's just this monster of this thin projectile that just finds the place in between a couple of plates and just really digs deep into Savar's body. You take 14 points of damage.
That's 14. What type?
Oh, yes, that's piercing. So you take half, 7.
Oop.
Thank God.
Barbarians. So that was that's turn. Brings us to Tika.
Yeah. So, I would follow suit. Hello, Mookow. I would also like to run up towards the front.
Okay. You
of
have
the
it.
stairs.
Yeah. You were kind of at the base of the stairs anyway, so I'll easily say that you got to the top of the stairs with your movement, and you can see all of the action. There's 2 kind of schlubs that are making their way towards Savar. And there's the one that's on the railing that it looks like it's knocking a second crossbow bolt into this thing that's coming out of their arm.
Okay. So I am going to do a little bonus action here.
Ooh.
And I'd like to shoot at ooh, shoot my crossbow at the one that attacked Savar.
Okay. Crossbow against
Which-
crossbow.
Yeah. What do we got? What is it, Mook?
It's like
It's a
face off.
14 to hit.
14 hits.
Oh, sick. Okay. And then 7.
Like Annie Oakley with this crossbow.
7 points of damage.
It
and
hits. It finds purchase right in its upper kind of shoulder,
Mm-hmm.
but it does not fall over. It does draw its attention towards you, though.
Great. And then, as a bonus action, I would like to cast Cure Wounds on Savar.
You mean
Oh, sorry, not
healing
Cure
word?
No. I meant Shield of Faith, actually.
Oh,
Um,
that's an extra
yeah.
+2.
Yes. So +2 to your AC for its duration, which is up to 10 minutes. So
Jesus, what does
Oh,
that?
thank you.
What does that put Savar at?
15 AC now.
15. That's survivable now.
it's not Cure Wounds yet, but it's something.
Yeah.
So basically, a little like shimmering field surrounds you, and yeah.
You see the one with the crossbow for an arm point in your direction, Tika, and its mouth opens, and there's that obnoxious sound. For those of you that are old enough to remember trying to log into AOL,
Oh.
the sound of the modem trying to connect to the internet. That very kind of garbled.
Oh, that was so annoying.
Yeah. And the one with the 2 short swords for arms runs over, drops down from the upper level, and attempts to attack Tika.
Great,
that-
excellent.
That's a 10, so that misses. And a 6.
Yep.
So
She just
You'd think having short swords for arms, you'd be able to hit a little easier.
Tika's just a little too feisty. They're definitely used to dealing with like
Eyes closed, just windmilling.
yeah.
You know,
eyes
Not even-
eyes closed club. That's how you do it. And after they go, the 2 that are left up there step up to Savar. who now has this radiant shield of energy. That's a 1, so that's garbage. That's a 5. These dice hate me. Both of their weapons just dance off of the scales. There's this kind of new hesitation, I think, as the arrow definitely that pierced into him might have given him a little bit more wariness, and so there's a little bit more protection to him. There's a little dance now that he's kind of like, no, 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 you will not hit Savar today.
Not today.
But it brings us to Kiba. You were already up
Kiba.
on the main deck, so what do you want to do?
I'm back on the crow's nest.
Okay. First tier?
So I'm up. Yeah, the first tier. Was heading in that direction for. So I scan and I see the one that's that one humanoid creature with the short swords attacking Tika.
Mhm.
So I let loose an arrow in that direction.
Okay.
I rolled 16.
That hits.
Nice.
3 damage.
Awesome, awesome.
7.
7.
And I would take an action.
Surge.
Yeah.
Ooh. Yeah, the arrow hits center of mass, just above, kind of like a good half a foot, maybe 8 inches above Tika's head. Just hits this thing center of mass. It does not collapse.
I will action surge and shoot another arrow in
Take
its
him
direction.
down.
All right, same target.
And I got +6, a 20.
That hits. Dirty 20.
And I think that's happens with that, right? That's consider a crit,
No, it has to be a natural die roll,
natural.
Yeah.
All right.
not a total. 3 damage.
What?
Five. The arrow. It's again. It's almost like the scene in Lord of the Rings where Boromir is getting pelted with arrows. You just see these 2 arrows sticking out of it. And where it would have dropped a regular person, you see this thing still kind of like staring down at Tika, and its swords are kind of coming back up for another round of attacks. It brings us to Savar.
Do I see this creature attacking Tika?
Oh, yeah. You're at the top of the stairs leading up to the upper deck. The 2 things are there kind of engaging you. Yeah.
All right, so they're
You
still
saw it jump down.
Okay, and then they're still engaging me, so I can't run up to the guy whose javelin is marshmallowing.
He's
I'll get an attack of they'll get an attack of
one of them will. Yeah, one of them will, but the other one is close enough to the javelin to guy that you can go back and take your javelin if you want to.
I have hand axes.
Okay.
So I think I'm gonna throw a hand axe at the guy who's attacking Tika.
Okay.
And
if-
that
Do you have more than one?
I have 2, yeah.
Okay, yeah, so you could draw them both, and as part of the rules for Dungeons and Dragons, when you have 2 light weapons or 2 finesse weapons in both your hands, you can do what's called dual wielding. And one of the fun things one of the cheats, one of the workarounds, the loopholes about dual wielding is that if you throw a light weapon, you can throw a second one as part of your dual wield action.
Okay, so I will throw the second one because the first one's a 9 to hit.
First one misses, yeah, so Tika sees this massive hand axe come flying towards them. Just
And
barely
the second
misses.
one's a 13.
13 hits though. Roll your damage.
And that will be a 7 plus the 2, 9.
Oh man. It
It's
wasn't.
like the first one fell like short.
Yeah.
And he turned around and
There's like a hand axe that falls near enough Tika to worry her, and then the second one just kind of hits right at the neck where the head and shoulder meet, and there's a bit like, okay, it's a practice shot.
yeah.
But the thing just kind of collapses over to the side. It's clearly gone. It was in bad shape before. You have massacred this thing. Bohodi,
Yes.
what would you like to do with your turn?
We're staring at
You
what,
have
2 henchmen and
Yep, there's 2 henchmen at the
crossbows.
top that are engaged with Savar, and there's the one with a crossbow that's on the railing still.
Right. And crossbow's been hit once by Kiba, right? Kiba's landed one shot on him, but it didn't take him
No,
down.
Tika's the one that
Well,
has traded blows.
That's right. That's right.
Crossbow for crossbow.
Hot crossbow for crossbow action.
Hot crossbows. Hot crossbows.
Just
One
tips.
a penny, 2 a penny, hot crossbows. Let's do. I think I can get. None of them are close to me, right? They're all
No.
at distance.
Oh
from
yeah,
me,
they're
right?
all. The closest one just collapsed with an axe to its throat.
All right. Yeah. Until these guys really hit me, I'm just gonna go with what works.
Mhm.
Let's give him another Eldritch Blast.
Okay. You going for
Boom.
the henchman or the
I don't
crossbow?
want to use my big spell yet.
Yeah.
Henchman. I'm gonna take out henchman.
All right.
Yeah. I'm gonna pick off the minions.
Make your attack roll then. Let's see what you get.
21.
Yeah, you hit dead square.
D10 plus 3 is looking like 8.
Oh my god. You just cave
Hell yeah.
in that creature's chest cavity. It's almost like a shotgun blast. It's a smaller impact in the front, but the back, if anybody sees him, it just is cratered like a meteor hit. Brings us to the crossbow. Turns their attention
Whoa.
over to Tika.
God damn it.
Does a
Go
13 hit.
Super Saiyan.
No.
This crossbow bolt that looks to be the size, almost the entire size of what Tika's body is, just comes thunking into the ground near you, and you can see that the tip is just rusted over. There's this kind of viscous fluid that looks like it might be poisonous that's kind of dripping from it, but you don't know if it's like seawater or whatever this thing is made out of. But you are getting the feeling that you are in a good position not to be hit by this thing.
Excellent.
Tika's turn though.
Alrighty. Is there any convenient way for me to like try and deduce what these creatures are? To
You
better know how to attack them?
Yeah, you could take your action to do a medicine check on the one that's has an axe sticking out of its throat in front of you.
Okay, and how far away is Savar from me?
Still at the top of the stairs. He's about 25 feet away from you.
Okay, I'm gonna do the medicine check thing because
Okay.
that sounds. Plus, I have a +4, so
Oh, Yeah, so you, so
So 16.
yeah, Savar sees Tika kind of just squat down and start pulling on the hand and the arm of this thing that you just chunked your hand axe into to protect her. And she's just kind of like prodding it, sticking her hand in it, kind of smelling her fingers. Uh, Tika will recognize these as something that hasn't been seen in some time, not since the Second Age, when they were predominantly used, and they were really the reason of why the Second Age ended. It's because of the big war between the factions of the living and the factions of the Warforged.
Hmm.
These are humanoids, humanoid creatures that found sentience somehow, but that aren't living.
So they're undead.
No, they're mechanical.
Hmm. All right. She has a disgruntled look on her face.
Yeah,
Uh,
these are abhorrent to anyone that appreciates nature because they take nature and they warp it.
yeah, she's not stoked.
Yeah.
Uh, seeing, kind of recognizing that as a bonus action, I think, maybe not for the first time. I think it's for the first time. Going to cast my spiritual weapon.
Oh,
I guess it has a pretty good range, so
yeah.
maybe over towards a couple of them.
Yeah.
And it actually looks like a kind of like a large garden shears.
Okay.
And yeah, it was her deceased wife's favorite garden shears. So
Oh,
it appears like that, and it
yeah.
so yeah, that appears, but it doesn't do anything yet.
I mean, it can attack on its turn.
Really?
The moment you summon it, yeah.
Oh, I see. I haven't played with a cleric. Oh my god. Okay.
Yeah. So these giant spectral scissors, for lack of a better word,
Pretty much.
appear next to the crossbow wielder. But you also see that I would imagine they have like each one of the finger holes has like a different styled ribbon.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Very into it.
Yeah. Make your attack
Okay.
roll.
Well, it's uh 3 + 2. So
Five will not hit.
oh, I rolled for damage. Hold on.
Yeah.
14 + 4, 18 to hit.
That'll hit.
Should I use the same damage? It's 5.
Sure. Yeah, 5 is fine. You see these spectral scissors just chunk into this thing, and pieces of it do go flying off. Like you can see the kind of grooves that are made into the creature's kind of skin, for lack of a better word, and the scissors kind of pull out and clip themselves, ready for another attack. Because on 12s, that brings us to the 2 that are left on Sevar. The 4 will not hit you. But this 19 will.
Ooh,
Yep.
Uh, and you're going to take 4. You're raging still, so it's actually 2 points of damage. As this little kind of dagger-like fingers cut into a near enough portion where the arrow is that it feels like a softer spot for you. But then we end the turn with Kiba.
Yeah, once again I scan and I guess I will go
2 left.
longbow versus crossbow.
Okay.
That's the only one in my vision, in my line of sight, correct?
No, there is the other one that's on top of Savar. That's engaged with Savar.
they're engaged.
Yeah, definitely. No, I'll go for the crossbow because that
Yep.
has distance, so I'll take that one out.
It was a whirlwind wooing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have so many crushes. Warforged.
Oh.
Hmm.
Ooh.
A 1 plus 6 is
Uh-huh.
7. 7 is not enough to hit.
Whoopsie doodles.
The arrow goes flying off, and you see it hit the wheel of the ship and just starts to spin.
Oh
But
man.
you definitely missed.
So bad.
Savar's
It's-
turn.
Damn it.
He was so expressionless when he fights, and this time he missed. It's like,
Well, I'm going to. I there's only one engaged with me now, right?
There's one that's fighting you toe to toe, and there's one that's about 10 feet away from you that's on the railing, just kind of flicking off at Tika.
Well, I'm out of ranged weapon, so I'm just gonna attack the one in front of me with my great sword,
Yeah, time to bust out. The old Widowmaker.
and it's an 11 to hit.
Hits.
Okay. And then that is 9. No, 8 plus 2 is 10, not 9.
And 10 will cleave it in twain. These guys just collapse under the weight of your sword. It's not even the cutting edge, it's just the weight of the sword and you bringing it down with gravity's help. It's just like, no!
No.
But that brings us to Bahodi. There's only the crossbow shooter left, the sniper.
All right, I'm tired of this guy. He's gonna get the other half of my wrath. Which is gonna be Witch's Bolt.
Hmm.
Mm.
The old Witch's Bolt. Let's see.
Yeah, that's the good spell.
I just got that in another campaign, and I was like, oh my god. Thing is,
Daddy.
oh.
Yeah, as a warlock, it is so choice.
15 to hit.
15 will hit. It'll hit hard. Roll the damage.
11.
Again, you get that sensation of where you're used to this spell kind of being one of the longer run spells, the ones where you kind of like you hold on to it, you do your damage, you're consistent about it, you concentrate on it, but you just shatter this thing same way. It courses through its body, it kind of shatters it into several pieces and just expels all of the barnacles and the kind of coral reefs that are growing on it. And it just kind of shatters and pieces scatter onto the ship itself, and majority of them kind of fall into the ocean.
Oops, my bad.
But you have
Oops.
destroyed the threats.
Might have gone a little
For now.
overboard with that.
Yeah. The one that you're investigating, Tika, you notice that in its hand, it also has another shard of a sapphire, kind of the same cut. It's a little bit smaller than the other one, but you kind of notice that some of the facets look like they might attach to each other somehow.
Oh god, we gotta take them all out if we want to put the puzzle together. Oh, Tika's like,
Yep.
no, something starts to click, and she kind of like tucks it away in her pocket, expecting they don't have much time to dwell on it. It's probably gonna happen again.
Yeah. And at the same time that you've defeated the last one of this boarding party, you hear a resounding cheer from beneath, and you can see that the tree limb that was attached to this ballista chain has fallen away and kind of splashed into the water. And you can see the captain take hold of the wheel. She angrily pulls the arrow out of one of the spokes, tosses it to the side, and then spins the wheel in the opposite direction. And you see, as your ship is turning towards this kind of spectral remnant of a bygone age. The parts that are still real hit and scrape against the ship, but because part of it is spectral, your ship is using that to kind of turn towards it and start running away. You hear orders being yelled out. You can hear the sound of the modem kind of trying to connect again as different creatures from the ship are trying to figure out what to do. And as the ships are separating, and yours is kind of turning back towards the storm wall, the other one is kind of trying to figure out how to re-engage you. There's this massive form that just kind of drops down onto your ship from the other ship, and it looks massive. It is maybe 8 feet tall, about
Oh.
4 feet wide, and it just pulls out of its back. You see it pull this kind of heavy looking shield, but as he starts to pull on the different parts of it, you notice that it's not a shield. It's actually this wicked, massive crescent, double-headed axe. Savar, start us off.
This is so bad.
He's got well, how far is my javelin?
We'll say it's within 5 feet of you, so you can just pull it.
I can't pull it and throw it though, right? In the same turn.
Sure.
Okay, so I'm gonna pull it out of him and just launch it at the 8-foot tall behemoth.
All right, make your attack roll.
Woof.
And it's a 9.
9 is not enough to hit this thing. It kind of goes flying at him, and he swats it away. And you see it thunk into the side of the ship somewhere.
Question.
Mhm.
Can I? Okay, I'm still raging, right?
Mhm.
So I'm gonna, as a bonus action, choose to go into a frenzy. So on my next turn, I get 2 attacks,
Oh,
and every turn after.
snap. Do you also want to walk your way down towards him, or you want to wait up there where it's safe?
I'm gonna. How far is he from me?
From you, he is 25 feet away. He is
So
10 feet away from Tika, though.
oh, I'm gonna walk up to him,
Okay.
and then end my turn there.
Okay.
It's a casual stroll.
You know, and just mosey more than anything. Brings us to Bahodi.
Oh, hi.
Oh, hello.
That's a big boy.
Uh, let's give him let's put a cloud of daggers over his head.
Ooh. Yes, please.
Oh wait, no, I can't. I don't have a pack slot left.
Ah,
Never mind. I gotta go back to my base spell. I thought that was an at-will spell because it wasn't highlighted. Never mind.
Well, remember.
Let
Yeah. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I used my 2 pack spells for the day already.
Yeah.
Let's go with good old fashioned Eldritch Blast.
You got it. Make the attack roll.
19.
Yeah, that hits. Square center of mass.
DiMaggio. Get over it. 8.
8. You see it hit there's a very small kind of crater where it does hit, but he kind of looks down at it. He kind of looks over at you. There's a smile on his face. I like casters.
Oh, good.
Ah.
Uh,
All right, I can put on my finger now.
Ika.
Okay. He likes. Wait. Well, how far away did Savar move from me when he moved?
He is 5 feet away from you.
Oh, sick.
Yeah.
Okay. Uh. Okay. Well, I want to move to Savar
Yep.
and cast Cure Wounds.
Okay.
And so that is D8 plus 4. Oh no, 2. Okay, so 4 points of healing. There you
Okay.
go, Savar.
One more life.
And what was
Thank you.
that?
No, 4 more life for him.
Yes.
Oh, heavens. How did it? There we go.
And after the comment that it just made, and if it saw me hopefully cast that spell,
Mhm.
I'm going to. Can I like hold my spiritual weapons action, like in case it comes at me or something, or hold my own action? Bonus? I don't know.
Sure. We'll say that you can bring it. You'll spend the action that it would have taken, kind of bringing it over to you. And
Okay.
kind of putting it
Cool.
in front of you defensively.
Sweet. That sounds perfect.
Yeah. You see coming up the stairs, kind of like wary of whether or not you're still embroiled in combat. You see Basten kind of like looking around. We safe.
To be honest, I'm not quite sure. With my hands, like my hand is still on
Yeah.
like Savar's like elbow, probably. I was gonna say shoulder,
Yeah.
but like
Yeah.
You might be, but we are not.
Oh, he looks over at the thing. He's like, "Oh, I see. All right. Well, I guess I should earn my keep then, shouldn't I?" And you
Yes.
see him shoot off a couple of Eldritch blasts, and they go flying wide because my dice hate me, and I didn't roll higher than 10.
No.
uh
Uh, so that was Tika's
bruh.
turn. It goes, and
Yeah, let us know when you start earning that keep there.
Yeah.
gives you a thumbs
know?
up.
Let us know when that starts.
The thing brings its heavy, massive
Yeah.
axe up, and then brings it down on Savar.
My man, why always on Safar?
Yeah, total of 20 is gonna hit.
Oh, I thought. Oh my god, I thought you meant 20 damage. Like
No.
Jason, Chris.
Jeez.
There
Like
goes your leg.
No.
yeah, wow.
He does 12 total damage, so Savar takes 6.
Savar wasn't gonna make it to part 20
Good.
of this game.
Yeah.
I'm still okay. I'm in double digits.
Oh yeah, that's a
Oh
barbarian.
yeah.
Barbarian.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to put in work to bring him down.
You just listen a finger right now.
But brings us to Kiba at the end of the round.
Say no more. Kiba's already ready and loaded and ready to shoot an arrow in that direction.
Yep. Or your attack. See what happens.
With no expression on his face, just 14.
14 hits.
8.
8 more. Yep. You excuse me. Hit him center mass, just in the chest. The arrow thinks thunks into him. He kind of looks down and with his hand just kind of breaks the arrow off wherever it's sticking out of him.
Great.
Wait your turn.
It's hardcore.
Savar.
So
Movies.
I'm going to attack recklessly this turn.
Ooh, that's
Um,
dangerous.
Good thing I'm
Um,
right next to you. That's awesome.
so I get advantage on both attacks because I am going to attack twice.
Correct.
But he'll have advantage on me.
Yes, you will.
So with my great sword, that's Terabad on the first, and the exact same thing on the second. I'm not even kidding.
What'd you get?
Both
Nice.
9.
Both 9. 9 is not enough.
And then on the second attack, okay, let's see if I get that. I don't. It's a dirty 20 on the second attack.
That'll hit. That'll hit though. After the 2 9s on the roll with advantage, it's good that one of them hits at least.
And then damage. Oh, I can't click it because all this stuff is in the way. Is 8 plus 2, 10.
One more. Yeah, you cleave. You bring your sword down in what would be a cleaving rend, and it just hits the top of his shoulder and kind of comes down about halfway into the width of your blade. And then he takes his hand, his free hand, grabs the blade, pushes it up out of his flesh, and I use the term loosely, and then pushes it back towards you. Harder. Bahodi.
I want to hit him harder. Doodle-doo-doo. Oh, I accidentally hit a D8. I'm gonna shoot him with my friend.
The Eldritch Blast.
I've hit him.
Eddie Blastoise.
Yeah, I've hit him once, so he's already taken damage. So I'm gonna do Toll the Dead on him now.
Oh,
My wisdom. I have a wisdom 13 check to hit.
yeah, so he's gonna make a saving throw.
Yeah.
And a 3 on the die is garbage, so you do your damage.
I do
Damn.
D12 because he already has damage, so it's necrotic.
Yeah.
One D12 instead of D10.
Yeah.
Here's my D12 to everyone. Oh, I just wait, not to everyone. Oh,
You
to
need to
everyone
literally
roll.
put all of these dice in a dice
So,
jail for like the next
Yeah, oh yeah.
month.
Yeah, I'm
oh,
gonna find
do I
new
roll
dice.
to everyone or do I roll it to myself? I rolled a 7.
7.
Did it show up to you guys? It did.
Yeah.
Custom roll to self 7. I
Right.
should have done it to everyone.
Yeah,
though.
yeah, it's fine. 7 damage. There you
See
go.
how that works. Stab him.
Yeah, you see he brings his hand up to his head as the bells kind of chime inside of his head. Nobody else hears anything. Excuse me. But he just kind of starts to wobble for a second as the spell kind of hits and then fades away. And he shakes his head free. He's like, no. Ego.
Hails bells.
I am so genuinely conflicted about what to do to this thing. Because I like don't want to attack it in case it's just chilling. I don't know. Okay, fine. I'm gonna cast Sacred Flame on it.
Okay.
See what happens.
Dexterity saving throw. An 8.
Ah. Nope.
Okay.
And that is 6, 6 points of radiant damage.
Yeah. You don't see the effects of the necrotic damage on him, but you do see him kind of like wailing and kind of holding his hand up to his head. And then you see the kind of spark of radiance break out from inside his chest as the little mote comes down into him. And again, he just kind of like just gets really angry. He just roars out, and before he goes, Basten will do what Basten does. You see him summon his rapier again, holds it out towards him. Roll this actual dice of and even then I still roll a 4. Garbage. Basten's wasted spell slot. But you see this arc of lightning shoot out from the tip of his blade towards this thing, and it hits the mast behind it, and just he fizzles out, and he just kind of looks down at himself. He's just like, I should have stayed in the hammock. The monstrosity brings his very heavy axe up again and swings it down towards Savar. I think that's a 16.
That'll hit.
That'll hit. And I do 15 points of damage, so you take 7.
Oh wait, did you roll with advantage?
I did not. Either way, I rolled a 7 for my advantage roll, so I think I'll take the hit.
Okay. So 7
7 damage.
down.
Slap.
Okay.
Just this thing is massive, and it just hurts. Kiba.
Kiba's gonna fire another arrow in its direction from up there.
Yep.
$17, 23.
23 hits.
And an 8 damage.
8 damage.
Then his eye.
Just comes flying over again. He reaches up, breaks the arrow off.
Oh gosh, man. I'm losing arrows. The one.
But it brings us back to Savar.
So, I guess I don't know. Never mind. I was gonna. No, I'm gonna attack recklessly.
Okay.
With my great sword,
Do it.
and that's wow. Followed by okay.
Hey!
So
There you
that's
go.
21 to hit.
Go ahead.
On the first one. Do you want me to roll damage?
No, roll both attacks.
Okay. And then on the second one, wow. And 17.
Wow.
Both hit. Now you can roll both damages.
Okay. Wow. Thank God. Oh no, I clicked the wrong thing. That was my javelin.
Yeah, I
Sorry.
see that.
Great sword. So that's 13 on the first one.
13.
And on the second one, that is 11.
7 more. Oof.
Excellent.
He is looking bad. After Savar, it brings us to Bahodi.
That's a me.
That's you.
Boat.
Boop boop boody do do dee do do.
Boat. Boat.
Um. Let's do. Let's toll the dead again.
All right. Wisdom save
Wisdom check 13.
9. Not enough.
D12 to everybody. 6.
6 more points. Again, you see him hold his head.
Hold your head up.
Uh, brings us to Tika.
Yes.
What would you like to do this turn?
So no one else has really been hit besides Savar.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's been hitting
Uh,
hard.
Yes, but I'm still close.
Yeah, he's still there.
Okay, cool. Then I am, as an action, going to cast Cure Wounds again, but at second level this time.
Oh,
Which is 6, 10 plus 2, 12 points of healing.
12 points. Nice.
And
Thank
then,
you very much.
and then, as a bonus action, I will have my spiritual weapon, the Garden Shears, attack this thing.
Okay. Make your attack roll.
My spirit animal garden shears.
14 plus 4 is 18,
Ow!
18 hits.
and 6 plus 2 is 8.
8 more damage. If this thing was made of stone, it would have disadvantage.
Or if it was a flower.
Because rock beats scissors.
Oh, okay. You know
Yeah.
what? This was fun. I'll see everybody later.
Yeah, I'll see myself out. But Basten kind of comes over, taking the page out of your book. He puts his hand on Savar's back. Savar, heal another 12.
God damn.
And he kind of looks down and is like, at least this doesn't require me to have to get in there. The creature reaches into itself and it pulls out another sapphire shard. And you hear him chanting something in a rhythmic kind of droll hum. And as he does, the other 2 shards pop out of wherever they are and fuse with his. And you see that he kind of nods to himself. Captain Vala will reward me. And you see him start to run towards the end side of the ship. Savar, you get a free attack of opportunity.
I cannot do that recklessly, right? Like I can't
No.
advantage on that.
No.
Okay. Let's hope. Nope.
9. You had one job.
You and those 9s tonight.
Yeah.
Today has been the day of 9.
But all of you see that he has taken this fused sapphire, which, as Tika is one of the few that can actually look up at it, and Savar, since he's right next to him, it kind of looks like a blue heart, about the size of a human head. And you see him just kind of run off to the side of the ship, and he jumps into the water.
Mermaid gem?
Since I'm up there, can I follow it, like, to see where he's swimming to, or
It looks like he's swimming back to the ghost ship.
I shoot an arrow at it?
Sure.
Is it too far?
Roll with
Is
disadvantage.
it too far.
Yeah.
Disadvantage. How would I do that on here?
Just roll twice, and then we'll take the lower of the 2.
Okay.
But you all see that the ghost ship has started to sink beneath the waters again.
Okay, so I got an So the lowest one will be that 8.
8. All right. So yeah. So you fire, and the water is just too tumultuous right now. It's too wild for the arrow to find any purchase, and it just kind of like flings itself away. But you see that the creature has taken the shards that you had, it's returned back to the ghost ship, and the ghost ship itself has kind of descended under the waves. And as your ship is finding its course again, you see what looks to be just remnants of other ships in the water as the sun is starting to set and darkness is starting to kind of find purchase in earnest in the evening sky ahead of you. But just like Basten told you, there is a break in the storm wall. There is a sliver of a valley, this opening, and as the ship crosses the threshold of what was its original world and starts its journey into the next world, this is where we'll leave today's episode. I want to thank all of you again.
What?
Yeah, cliffhangers, always leave wanting more.
Gotta do another tall tale.
We're gonna have to come back for part 3 of this one shot.
One shot part 3.
Also part 3.
I want to thank all of you again for taking part in this and letting me take you on a journey of Dungeons and Dragons. I hope that you guys are having a good time, and as always, please, going in the same order that we did our introductions, go ahead and plug your streams, please. Let us know where we can find you, where people can go and follow you and subscribe to you, please. Even though if you're in chat, it will kind of pop up a list now.
I'll be live tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Pacific.
Yeah, for karaoke, huh?
Yep.
Nice.
Yes.
That is the infallible Gloop Dog. Red, what are you up to?
I will also be live tomorrow, but at 1 p.m. Central, playing Magical Menagerie, where it's D&D, and I play Gwendolyn, a rogue fairy who is a bit transatlantic and just arcane trickster. So yeah, and if you want to follow me, it's just red herring. There's an underscore in there somewhere and a 1 instead of an I.
This is the character that lives in the pocket.
Yes, I do live in a pocket. I actually crafted myself an opalescent little button swing now that people can wear around their neck, and I can side saddle it.
Nice. Ike, what do you got going on?
You can catch me Fridays, Star Wars Out of the Dark, playing Flit Grilled, and guest appearing every now and then in Salem at night. On Mondays, playing Otis King of Ventru,
Yeah,
Vampire the Masquerade
Nice.
edition.
nice. Pedro, what are you up to?
I don't stream, but maybe someday.
Yeah,
You can catch me here in part 3.
yeah.
Hey,
And
Yes.
I appreciate that this isn't your only foray into D&D and that you've gotten bit by the bug. You're
yes.
advancing that. It's a shame that we just got raided by the RPG table because we're wrapping up. And one of the big things that I like to do on this channel that I've picked up from the McStabber Studios, where you can find me playing a werewolf on Tuesdays, and where we just finished a mini series of Mage 2nd Edition, Mage the Ascension from White Wolf, that was set in 1984 Miami, which was a lot of fun. One of the big things that we do here on the channel is that we talk about mental health and how it is important. And if you haven't gotten your vaccines, please go and get your vaccines, get your shots. But if you're watching live, there are some phone numbers that are in the Twitch chat line. There's also a link in case you are not in the United States and you need to find a place where you can reach out and kind of get any help if you need it. Because it's been a rough year and a half for some of us, myself included. And as such, I like to make sure that everybody knows that if you need to reach out, that there are places that'll listen to you, and that there shouldn't be a stigma or a taboo attached to mental health. And if you are a friend or family member or somebody that has a strong personality, I urge you to kind of reach out, because you never know how simple hello or how are you can change the trajectory of somebody's life. So please check in on each other, kind of take care of each other. And I hope to see you back for part 3 of this one shot that just keeps kind of going until we find a conclusion, I think. As always, thank you guys again. Make sure you go and follow Gloop Dog. Make sure that you go and follow Red Herring. Make sure that you check out Ike, Kiba on Star Wars. And maybe we can get Pedro Savar there to kind of come out and join one of our other streams if we can finagle the time for it. But please take care of each other, be safe, and I will see you when I see you.